I I can't hear you. Huh. Can you hear me?
What about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear
Yes?
you now.
I can't hear you, but Michael. So let me see why I can't hear Michael. Let me plug this back in. Can you talk now, Mike?
Okay.
No, I can't hear anything. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I'll figure this thing out. Very strange. Don't know why. I might. We can hear you. Okay, they probably hear me through Michael's microphone. So let me figure this out. I will. Do you want to let people know, Michael, how you can get involved in the show?
Oh, sure. Yeah, because God knows I was running late tonight. Night just got away from me. It's kind of weird. The Superman homepage live is all about Superman, and therefore we want to hear from the people that are watching us live right now on the show. So, about halfway through the show, and if we don't have too much to talk about, we're going to take. I guess we're not taking callers anymore because that's not how all this works. But we'll have you join the show, and you can do that by going to supermanhomepage.com/live. Press the call now button. It's really simple. You can sit there and watch the show as you're waiting to come on. Or you can take out your smartphone and scan the QR code.
Still don't know why I can't
right there that says scan me. They can apparently hear both of us. So JP Rocha says we're coming in hood. So this is the most anyways.
No. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Mike?
I can hear you.
I can hear you now. Can everybody hear me?
Okay.
I think we're good. Sorry about that, folks. These are the things that happens from time to time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Superman Homepage Live. I'm guessing Michael has given you all the details about how you can get involved tonight's show. If you're too shy to get on the camera or on the phone like Michael has just explained, then feel free to post your comments on YouTube right there. We'll continue to keep an eye on what everyone's saying, and thank you for letting us know about the technical difficulties we had to start with. But it seems to be all running smoothly now, so I'm hoping that everyone can hear me, which is fantastic. Michael and I will keep an eye on your comments and react to them as the show goes on. This is our 7th of November 2022 show. We've got a lot of topics to get through, including what's been happening with the talk about the new Superman movie with Henry Cavill. We've got an exclusive interview with the co-producer of My Adventures with Superman, the animated series, which is still going ahead on Cartoon Network in 2023. And we want to thank our sponsors and our patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And remember, if you want to get your comments on the screen, that's a super chat. Click the dollar symbol right there. We'll post your comment on the screen. Or if you want to sponsor the show, click the join button below. There are different levels of perks for different levels of sponsorship. How have you been, Mike, after all that?
It's been a weird day.
Same.
I looked up at one point, it was 10 o'clock, and then I looked up and it was 10:25, and I was just like, well, I've got to get on the show. So
yeah, well, even for me, it's an hour later in the day now that you guys have gone into daylight savings, or the daylight savings has changed there, and so it's now an hour later for me. You think I'd actually have more time, but I was chasing my tail as well, and weird day for me as well. But nevertheless, everyone's here not to hear about us being poor in time management, but they want to hear about what's going on in the world of Superman, and we have quite a few things to get through. Let's start with the movie news like we like to do, and to start with, obviously there's all the talk about the Henry Cavill Superman film, what's going on there, what's happening with that side of things. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav says they have a plan moving forward, and that Superman and other key what they're called IPs they're focused. They're foremost and foremost thinking about characters like Superman, Harry Potter, and the like.
Yeah, and it's weird because I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but right after we got off the show last week, I started noticing like DC Comics merch, like really pimping out Superman stuff.
Yes.
And I was just like, I'm not used to this. I'm used to you guys, literally hiding him under a bushel. And now we have this, and today I just saw there's a brand new Black Adam Superman shirt.
Yes, I saw that.
And I'm like, seriously, like, I don't know, like, I feel like I'm being punked. like this is the setup for the fall later. Like, they're gonna get us really, really excited, and they go, psych, we're not doing anything. You can't. But no, it's just it's only smart for the guy who runs a company that has billion-dollar IPs to say we're going to promote the IPs.
Yes, exactly.
The difference here is I really feel like the Batman tsunami has subsided.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we've hit our saturation point with Batman. That's kind of fascinating.
It is.
I didn't think we'd ever get there.
No, I know what you mean. So yeah, Superman's first and foremost in their mind whenever they're talking about anything. I saw that Black Adam, we need to talk Black Adam t-shirt advertised on the DC shop today as well. So that's really interesting. And so he's talking about, I don't know about Harry Potter, how they're going to go there because they've done all the books, but he also made a very kind of weird statement saying that we haven't had a Superman movie in 13 years and we haven't had a Harry Potter movie in 15 years. This is what he said during an investors call on Thursday, November 3rd. His maths is off. 13 years ago was 2009, and there was no movie released in 2009. 2006 we had Superman Returns, but since then we've had, I guess you'd say, 4 Superman movies if you want to go with Man of Steel 2013, Batman v Superman 2016, Justice League the theatrical cut in 2017, and then Zack Snyder's Justice League to HBO Max in 2021. I mean, Superman was in all those movies. Is he just talking about a solo Superman movie and doesn't consider Man of Steel to be a movie, or is he talking about the title of the film?
So I was thinking about that because he said 13 years. I'm wondering if he, and this happens to me sometimes, especially lately, since I've been working so much, I get kind of brain fog. I'm wondering if he's saying we haven't had a Superman film since 2013.
Right, okay.
Like, which would make more sense because we haven't had a solo Superman film since 2013.
Yeah.
I don't know this guy. I don't have a dog in this race.
Yeah.
I don't hate him. I don't love him. I could not, if you showed me a picture of him, I would not recognize him. But it is interesting that he was just like, we haven't had one since in 13 years. It's just like, that's not right.
No.
But, people make mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
An investor calls are interesting. Usually when I hear about investor calls, it's when somebody says something really bad. Like we're really looking forward to like taking advantage of poor people or something like this. So on a scale of that and this seems like really trivial.
Yeah, and it's been interesting that James Gunn, who's the new CEO of DC Studios, who only just started this past week in his new role, has still been active on Twitter saying and actually reaching out to the fans and acknowledging some of the hashtags and renew or don't cancel DC Legends of Tomorrow and all those other ones, the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad and what have you. And it says, look, we acknowledge the fans. He's doing a Dwayne Johnson, if you like. We're listening to the fans. We hear the fans. We can't do everything you want, but welcome to the new DCU, which involves movies, television, and animation. We're telling the biggest story ever told, he said.
And the Clark Kent panel he tweeted out was also one of those things that went,
Yes, good choice.
That's different.
Interesting choice, yeah, indeed. But look, Henry Cavill's obviously still been out there, or some of the interviews that have been out released this past week again for Enola Holmes 2, in which he stars as Sherlock Holmes. I watched it the other day on Netflix. Loved it. I love the first one. Millie Bobby Brown is really good as Enola Holmes, and her and Henry have such a great chemistry. And seeing drunk Henry, as far as he's doing a drunk Sherlock Holmes at one point, it's just so funny to see the comedic side of him, because he's in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. He's always so serious, and so it would be nice to see him do a lighter, not jokey version of Superman, but just being able to have a little bit of that lighter side of his character, because he just is such a warm, and he's just so charismatic.
Yeah, we can mock the Whedon cut for a good reason, for a number of reasons. But that first scene where he's just talking to the kids was actually really charming. Like it was just kind of interesting to see that. So, yeah, you did the mustache thing. Yeah, that was just a terrible idea.
Yes. So he's been doing a few interviews, as I said. He spoke to who was it? USA Today, when he spoke about taking on Sherlock and Superman and the cultural weight of what comes before. And I liked his answer. He said, if you approach it as anything else, then there's a certain grandeur attached which can affect the performance. If you're going to be as honest and true as possible, then you need to try and look at it through their eyes. Certainly with Superman, you feel the effect of the character. And just everything he's saying about Superman and the way he plays Superman and the way he approaches the character has just been really on point.
It seems like he's doing it. I mean, I know he's talked about playing the character before, but it seems like he's been like unchained, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's a terrible pun, but I'm gonna keep with it. Like he's now like comfortable really saying, this is what I want to do. Whereas before, I don't think he had the backing of the studio to do that. And now, the best piece of marketing these people have is Henry Cavill. Just let the man talk.
Yes.
He will win people over. He is utterly charming, and he's got a really good sense of humor. He knows when to be coy and when to give some information out. So just let him be your PR guy.
I think we're so lucky in that the Superman that we've had in living memory, like Christopher Reeve, everyone says he embodied the character both on and off screen. And then Brandon Routh, the same thing. If you've met the gentleman, if you've heard him talk, he just embodies what you want in Superman. And same with Henry Cavill. He's just really saying and holding himself and just his thought process behind the character. It just all really funnels in through what you want the character, you want to hear about the character and want the person to be about who is holding the mantle, holding the torch for the character at the moment.
Yep, absolutely.
Other than Dean Cain. Dean Cain maybe is the only one who's kind of...
He's the one that's most self-serving with it.
Yeah.
And this is not a Dean Cain is bad because he's a conservative. Because
no.
As I've said on many occasions, that's like the least problem I have with the man. It's other things. But it seems like when he goes on like a morning show to talk about Superman, it's always there's always a political bend to it.
Yeah, it's self-serving.
Kind of weird. Because these people keep telling me that politics should have nothing to do with comics, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if any of the animated voices kind of have. I don't think we hold them to the same standard because we don't see them. We hear their voice.
Yeah.
But it's not like we're seeing Tim Daly or George Newbern in the costume.
No, but to his credit, Tim Daly has done a lot of great things on screen with his Superman persona, as far as like being that skit that he did with his son, who also voiced Superman, and Brandon Routh was in that as well. He's done a lot of cool things. I got an interview with Henry Cavill that he did with Looper, where he talks about playing Superman and the silly question of Superman versus Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, goodness me. First of all, I mean, Superman isn't just brawn. There's so much more to him than that. And second of all, they wouldn't go up against each other. Superman is no villain, and Sherlock only goes after the bad guys. But Sherlock, I suppose it would come down to the Batman Superman argument, which is if Sherlock had enough prep, could he take out Superman? And I think the age-old answer to that is, in reality, only if Superman allowed it to happen, because he is Superman after all, and he's, if anything, held back by his ethics and morals in that kind of circumstance.
Again, so well thought out.
Very politic too.
Yeah, he's not offending the Sherlock Holmes fans, and he's not offending the Superman fans. He's like he's treading that line.
Great at talking from that fence, and I love it. I'm not saying that as an insult. I think he's doing exactly what he needs to do.
He's going to get a few splinters in his backside, but sitting on that fence. But no, he's doing a good job.
True.
Very good. So it's breaking news. Mind the Gap says Superman is not a villain. Thank you.
Sometimes you have to say it out loud just to get it out there. So.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the other big rumor of the week on the movie side of things was when it was reported by the Hollywood Reporter's Heat Vision newsletter that Steven Spielberg had sat down over lunch with David Zaslav. And then during the course of that meeting, Christopher Nolan and DC Studios' new CEO, Peter Safran, also joined in. And everyone started talking Superman and thinking, is that the rumor? Is that, where things are going? Is that what they were meeting about? But I think it's kind of been confirmed since then that, and we've known this for quite a few years now, that Steven Spielberg has always been in talks with Warner Brothers about doing a Black Hawk film. And so maybe that's back on the slate. I would love to see a Steven Spielberg Superman film, because I think the man is a fantastic director, and a lot of my childhood is Steven Spielberg movies. I don't think it will happen, but it was interesting while it was being discussed.
If that Black Hawk thing, back in the 80s, they actually started doing a Black Hawk comic. They brought the character back in comic book form for a couple years, just in case the movie went forward. I love Steven Spielberg. I think he would do well with it. I don't know. I want not an unknown, and not somebody younger. I just want someone that gets the character, and obviously Steven Spielberg is very good at grabbing the emotional heartstrings of the audience and introducing characters that live on in pop culture history. I just don't know if I'm going to see him direct a Superman film.
Fair enough. I just think you get the magical aspects of the character.
Either. As I'm sitting here trying to come up with like a good reason, I can't. It's just if you're going to go the opposite of Zack Snyder, Steven Spielberg is where you go.
Very true. So, it probably won't happen. I doubt it. But it was interesting that everyone was discussing it when we heard about that meeting. But nevertheless, the search for a director continues, and we will find out when they want us to know. All right, let's have a look at some more movie stuff. I'm hearing, and I got it confirmed, that Warner Brothers Home Entertainment is looking to release 4K Ultra HD versions of Superman 2, Superman 2 The Donner Cut, Superman 3, and Superman 4 The Quest for Peace in early 2023. I don't know how you turn Superman 4 into a 4K Ultra HD because the special effects in that are so poorly rendered, even just in that standard definition, that it would be so starkingly obvious that there is poor special effects in that. But I'm hearing other things that 2023 is going to be a big year for Superman fans when it comes to Warner Brothers home entertainment.
I'm sorry. I am trying not to be snarky right now. I really want to make a "you can't put lipstick on a pig" joke. It's just Superman 2 a couple years ago. God, that was 7 years ago. Rachel got me the Blu-ray box set.
Yep.
Of the Superman films, and I finally started going through it, and I was watching Superman 2 on the big the big screen television we have. And I'm like, you know what? That it looks really good. And I'm like, wow, this really pops. Those colors are really vibrant. So with Superman 2 and Superman 3, I have no doubt that they can make the transition to 4K on those look good because the special effects on those are pretty top notch. Plus, it's easier to upgrade films like that because they're filmed on they're filmed at a high quality anyways.
Yeah.
Superman 4, I bet you it's just going to be the Blu-ray just slapped onto a 4K. How much do you need to see the matte lines? How much do you need to see... Like, is this where we're going to actually finally see the Supergirl shot that is supposedly in the film as one of the special effects shots? I mean, it's just... I feel bad making fun of it because, there are so many people that want, like, the Fury cut, which I am just amused by in general. Guys, putting those scenes back in is not going to make this film better. It's just going to make it longer. I will say the fight between Superman and the first Nuclear Man is actually really cool. The action in that was good. It's not really all that. I remember watching those scenes and going, "Oh my God, we dodged a bullet."
Yeah.
But like I said, you got guys like Aaron Price and and other people that just want to restore this film and make it so much more than it was. So I'm so conflicted because I literally laughed out loud at the idea of an Ultra 4K edition, Ultra HD edition of Superman 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, what the hell?
And John Patrick Van Pelt sends us a super chat saying, "Reminder, tell everyone on the show that not everyone has 4K TVs yet." And that's true. I don't have a 4K TV. And that doesn't mean everyone out, you don't have to buy it if you don't have it, or if you do want to buy it. And like I did back in the day before I even had a Blu-ray, I bought the Blu-ray versions of the movies when they were released, knowing that eventually I probably would get a Blu-ray player, and I'll probably do the same here, get the 4K Ultra HD editions when they're released, so that when I finally do get a 4K player and TV, I'll have them and not have missed out. So it's just a personal choice. Obviously, they're going to continue to bring out things as new mediums are available, and but whether he should or not is up to debate. But yeah, I'm interested to see what else they will release that I'm hearing. My sources are telling me be ready for 2023 for home releases. I'm thinking, what else is out there that we haven't seen other than the Superboy parts of the New Adventures of Superman cartoons? There really isn't a lot that hasn't been released to date.
I'm willing to bet like Lois and Clark on Blu-ray, possibly, which would be interesting because that wasn't really built for that. Because they've done Smallville, maybe the George Reeves show on Blu-ray.
I'm being told think even further back, and I thought Kirk Allen. No, further back. There's nothing further back than Kirk Allen.
The Fleischer, and I mean, it's just like I'll buy it.
Yeah, but anyway, so wait and see. Watch this space. We'll keep you informed as soon as we know anything. But speaking of Christopher Reeve, the complete costume that we were letting you know about that was up for auction by Prop Store, sold at auction for over $350,000 US during their ongoing entertainment memorabilia live auction at propstoreauction.com. A Supergirl costume worn by Helen Slater during the filming of the 1984 Supergirl film also sold for $45,000, but both went for above what was expected of them. So well done to whoever purchased those. That should be in a museum, as they say.
Speaking of Indiana Jones, yeah, no, I'm. It's always interesting seeing what these things go for. I am. It's kind of interesting that it is a complete costume.
Yes.
Because usually we're talking like the cape or a tunic or something like that. But yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah. So that auction ended November 6th. So we'll go through and see if there were any other interesting items that sold for anything that was worth reporting on, but we'll keep you posted. All right, but that's the movie side of things. Before we get into our break, I did get an exclusive interview for the Superman homepage with Josephine Campbell, the co-producer of the upcoming My Adventures with Superman animated series, which will be on Cartoon Network and HBO Max next year. Don't have a release date yet, but Josephine was kind enough to answer my questions in depth, revealing what she could about the upcoming animated series. I asked her about the fact that Warner Brothers have gone through such a shuffling of cancellations and all the kinds of stand downs and people losing their jobs, and she was saying that thankfully early on in that process we were given the assurance that My Adventures of Superman was still going ahead and coming out on Cartoon Network and the Cartoon Network app as planned, but they're still going ahead. They've got 2 seasons coming out, and no date has been announced of yet, but stay tuned. But yeah, she went through and answered my questions as much as she could without being able to give away too much detail, but I've seen quite a number of different outlets quoting our interview, and it's always great to get an exclusive like that and share it with you guys when we can.
Yeah, I was very impressed with that. I just got distracted for a minute. Dr. Casey Jones said that Lois and Clark is in HD on HBO Max. Chef's kiss, and there was no joy in Mudville tonight because Mighty Michael has struck out. It's apparently I didn't realize that, though it does explain why when I watch it on HBO Max and when I was watching it on the DC Universe app, it looked a little rubbery. So
there you go.
Not everything was meant for HD.
So yeah, but I know a lot of fans were concerned about My Adventures with Superman and whether or not it was still going to happen. But yes, it's definitely going ahead, and check out the full interview at our website. And thank you again to Josephine for taking the time out to answer my questions.
Yep.
All right, we're going to at the halfway mark. We're going to take a quick break, talk about Titans Season 4, which the first part of that is out on HBO Max now. And it hasn't come here to Australia yet. It's usually on Netflix here, but we will talk about Titans Season 4, Superman's involvement, and yeah, we've got heaps to talk about on the comic book side of things. Back right after this.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode, so stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer, the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman homepage.
Right here on Superman homepage.
Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen have been kidnapped. Who will save the day? You are Superman. All the powers are yours. Flight, heat vision, super speed, super strength, freezing breath, and X-ray vision. Buy early and receive a DC Comics Collector's Edition Superman comic book. Superman, the new Adventures video game.
The infamous N64, Nintendo 64 Superman game.
Fly through rings over and over again. It's the most exciting thing you'll ever do.
All right, just a super chat question from John Patrick Van Pelt saying, doesn't the new Nexstar Media Group deal start today with the CW? I don't know if it's the exact date. I'm not sure, but that they are new owners of the CW. They are reshaping what's happening on the CW, and we are hopeful that Superman and Lois will continue on there. If not, obviously there's HBO Max where things can continue on for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, there's. I know a lot of people are nervous. Again, I think there are things to be more nervous about in certain areas in life. But yeah, I don't see them canceling it right away.
No.
Though I will say, when it happens, because eventually it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, this shit's not going to run forever. Watch 10 years from now, we're on season 50 of. I don't know how we got from 10 years to 50, but just go with me on this. Math was never my strong suit. See, 13 years ago was the last
yes,
Superman.
Right.
When it ends, this is going to be the saddest one for me because it's the one that has this has been the most special Superman show for me personally, for a variety of reasons. So one of the reasons why I'm like, no, it's not going to get canceled is because I don't want it.
You're in denial. Yes. Very good. Something that's in its final season that we definitely know about is Titans Season 4 on HBO Max, and this is a statue that was featured. We kind of used a cheeky headline, first look at Superman in Season 4 of Titans, which technically is true because we haven't seen Superman before, and now we actually know that he wears the red trunks in the Titans universe.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, this cast iron statue of Superman in the streets of Metropolis, and we see it in the trailer that was eventually released, and I think it's the first 2 episodes where we see it as well. So there you have it, Superman in Titans Season 4, technically.
In the trunks.
In the trunks.
That's an interesting choice.
Yes, and there was a video recapping what had happened in Season 3. You can watch that on our website. And there was also this trailer showing for Season 4, which I mentioned. So check out, if I can find it, Titans Season 4, the trailer. This season so far. This season on trailer, they call it.
Great, Trigon. Speak to me. I'm begging you.
You've forsaken me when I need you. I need our son.
Ever since we got to Metropolis, strange things have been happening. Can't you see it? When the blood moon is full, the world will fall to evil.
I did the queen thing. I just want to do my thing. Is that too much to ask?
Don't take this on by yourself. We're a team, we do it together. I believe in you. You'll know your moment when it comes. We're dealing with the supernatural, and that scares me.
You are way out of your league.
If I was in my league, I wouldn't have tracked you down.
It's time to bring Sebastian to his rightful place.
Azra.
If you don't kill him now, he will bring the end of days.
It's like the luck side is taking over.
We shall take back what's ours. When the red moon fills the sky.
So there you have it. There's the trailer for this season on season 4 of Titans. And there was also a Welcome to Metropolis video. I'm just going to play a little bit of that because that's where we see the statue.
3, 2, 1, action!
We've always had really good sets, but they really were elevated this season.
You walk in, you're like, wow, this is epic in scale.
As you can see, everything looks fantastic.
We get to explore new locations that exist in Metropolis that we otherwise have never seen before.
What I love about this season is how we dive into horror. We have blood, knives, a lot of the horror imagery that we hadn't been able to use before that we used in season 1 with Raven, but we haven't been able to go back to it. And that has been a lot of fun on a technical level and exciting on a storytelling level.
Metropolis is the birthplace of Connor. It's the home of Superman. It's also the home of Lex Luthor. And in contrast to Gotham, it's kind of perceived as, I guess, a lot brighter, more hopeful place to be. It's a city that looks to the future, and there's beautiful parks, and Superman's flying through the sky, saving people.
We really believe that coming out of season...
So there you go. There's a Welcome to Metropolis trailer that you can watch the video on our website. But as I mentioned, there's that statue that we referenced a little bit earlier.
Yep.
Love hearing all the different accents of the actors, not realizing that they weren't American.
Yeah, it's just like half the cast. It's really fascinating. It's one of those things, you know. It's like we've had Welsh Batman, and I don't know where Robert Pattinson's from, but you know, English Superman.
Yeah.
So
why not?
Just have to be able to drop the. Well, I don't know if they would consider it an accent.
Yeah.
Like,
now,
probably to you, I speak with an accent.
Yeah, of course you do.
You don't.
No, of course not.
So, you know, I'm not that much of an ugly American.
It's all relative. Now, we saw Superman, but we mentioned also the fact that Lex Luthor, played by Titus Welliver, is a part of Season 4 of Titans. And spoiler alert, he doesn't stick around for that long, although it could come back. We don't know. I don't want to say what happened to him or why he is only limited time that he's there, but you need to watch the first 2 episodes to see just what happens to Lex and what Lex does. But he actually liked our tweet about it on Twitter, obviously, and so he's aware of the Superman homepage, Titus Welliver. And regardless of his short stint, his involvement as Lex Luthor was really there to propel the Connor Superboy story into the forefront of things. So I believe that a lot of people go, this is my favourite version of Lex now.
Yeah, well, you know, every time there's a new version, it becomes somebody's new favorite.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
So, check out Titans Season 4 if you can on HBO Max. All right, let's get into actually, before we do that, talking about the CW, Brad Schwartz, the former president of both Pop TV and Audible, has now been brought on as the entertainment president at the CW, which is now owned by Nexstar, as we mentioned a little bit earlier. And November 7th, you're correct. John Patrick Van Pelt was the day that he took over in the new in the role. And he hopes that the CW will continue to be a home for original TV shows like Superman and Lois. So fingers crossed, as Michael said, it hangs around for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
Hopefully. All right, let's get into the fan favourite segment of our show. All right, Michael, what was our fan favourite question from last week?
What is your favourite image of Henry Cavill as Superman? And Robert Lewis wrote in, this was the first image I saw for The Man of Steel. It drove my excitement level way up. Finally, a new Superman movie was coming. This was mine, too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember us poring over this like it was a Zapruder film. You know, it's like, is he wearing trunks? I mean, there's a shadow there, so he could be wearing the trunks.
It was so hard to tell. It was so well staged.
Yeah, I mean, just the S symbol looked great. The cape looks great. It was just a wonderful first image. of him, and there have been so many of him as the character. This will always be my favorite.
Yeah. No, it was, for the first look at the costume, nobody was sure if there were trunks or not. You couldn't tell with this image, and I think that was on purpose. They staged it so the shadow was in that area. We couldn't really tell what was going on with the hair properly. It looked very bulky, like he had a lot of volume to his hair there. And you couldn't really see what was going on with the boots either too much. What was the bank vault all about? We had so many discussions about this, the length of the cape, the colours, all that kind of stuff. There's so much talk about this, as you mentioned, because we were starved for anything for so long. But a great image, and the sparks and just the drama of the whole picture, a great one. So thank you very much, Robert. And that was the only response we got to the fan favourite question. So we're going to go with a similar theme this week to see if we get more responses, and ask the question, what is your favourite image of Christopher Reeve as Superman? So if you have, and there are plenty of them out there, and do not crop anything that has a Caped Wonder logo on it, please, folks. If we can use it if you need to. Jim's a good friend of ours, but don't go cropping logos if there are watermarks on them. They're there for a reason. They're owned by someone. But info@supermanhomepage.com is the email address that you can send your response to your favourite image of Christopher Reeve as Superman. We look forward to seeing those responses when they are sent to us for next week's show. Alright, before we move away from the TV side of things, there was an interesting video put online from the London MCM Comic Con, where Erica Durance and Tom Welling spoke with Laura Vandervoort, but this question was asked of Tom and Erica about whether or not they would return to their roles of Clark and Lois for a TV special. Here's what they had to say, which got a lot of interest and a lot of people talking about whether or not they would. I'm trying to find where I put this graphic. Where is it? Here we go. Smallville, Tom Welling and Erica Durance.
I want to know this. At the minute, there's a lot of kind of bringing back old shows. Fraser's coming back, for example, and things like that. Would you be interested in doing a one-off special just to kind of fill in the gaps of the story where we kind of got up to in the Arrowverse, how you lost your powers, did you choose to lose your powers? Would you be tempted to come back and do maybe a one-off special, like all together?
Like our own multiverse?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
It would be fun.
Just throw away like, sure, why not? And then it's like, poof, the world explodes.
You want to pay me money to act in a thing? Yeah, I'll do it. Why not?
Well, he's got no powers now, so he doesn't care. All he just doesn't want to put the costume on, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, people are going, I don't know if I want to see that show because he's no powers. What's the point? It's just a guy on a farm.
Yeah, because, his kids couldn't suddenly develop superpowers, and he's got two little girls, so...
We've kind of got that show on TV at the moment already, don't we?
Yeah, but the daughters make it a different dynamic.
Fair enough.
That was just my opinion on it.
Yeah, so anyway, he got the world, he got everyone talking about that, so very interesting comments. Yeah, why not? And there you go. So that's the Smallville discussion for this week. All right, on to the This Week in History, Michael. Here is your intro.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bars of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
All right, going back to 1952 for the first one, we have Superman number 80 and a baffling cover to me. I'm really just... why... apparently Superman's big brother is colorblind. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You don't like the pink?
No, I like pink very much, Lois, but it's just the pink and the blue look very weird.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of pink, just in general. In 1962, we got Superman number 158, which does not baffle me as much because this makes perfect sense in the 60s. So I do like how normal everybody looks. They've all got these like 60s businessman haircuts, but they're wearing those outfits.
Yes,
so,
very cool.
1982, this is an interesting story. basically Superman and Superboy are flying to the past and to the future, and they bump into each other, and they trade personalities.
Okay.
So Superboy is in Superman's body, and he goes back to Metropolis, and Superman is in Superboy's body, and he goes back to Smallville. So this was Cary Bates using the fact that he was writing both the Superman and Superboy series at the time to kind of do a weird crossover. 1992, big one.
Big one.
Superman the Man of Steel number 19. I wrote 18 on the thing, but it's 19. This was we're almost there. Whew. Man, it's weird that was 30 years ago.
Yes.
2002, Justice League Adventures number 13, introducing All-Star. I remember reading that, and once again, have no memory of it. We also had Superman number 188. If I'm remembering correctly, this was an odd one. This was kind of in that weird interstitial period right after Ending Battle, where they just had a bunch of one-off stories. And then Young Justice number 51, closing in on the end of that series. But Superboy's there front and center. So 2012, Action Comics number 14, getting deeper and deeper into the Morrison run. And speaking of Smallville season 11 number 7, with a really cool cover there. I forgot about that one. That's nice. In the real world, November 7th is traditionally recognized as the birthday of Martha Kent. Or I guess I should say Martha Clark. November 11th is the birthday of Callista Flockhart, who played Cat Grant on the Supergirl series. She was born in 1964. We keep talking about Indiana Jones. She's also married to Harrison Ford. And November 12th, Bob Holliday was born in 1932. So he was well over 30 when he played Superman. I never realized that.
Yeah, there you go.
Interesting. But that is This Week in History.
Thank you very much, Michael. There we go. So that was This Week in History, and we now bring in our good friend Mark Lax, who wants to have a chat with us tonight, and welcome him onto the show. Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing well, and yourself?
All right.
That's good. Getting into this week in the comic books, and there's a big week of comics. It was so big, we even got Michael Bailey back to review something for us. That's how big it was. So let's have a look.
There was no way, Steve.
No way.
No way that anybody else was going to review that thing but me. I'm just saying right now. I have no weight at the Superman homepage, but if I was going to have it, if I was going to throw it around, it would have been like, look, I would have, whoever had volunteered for it, I would have had a very polite but firm conversation about what's actually going to happen.
All right,
there would have been a knock on my door that I wouldn't want to open the door.
And I turned it in on time too.
Yes, very good. So let's have a look at what is available this week and what we're talking about. It's not this one, but this is out this week. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths number 6, the penultimate issue, 6 of 7. And it's available in a number of different variant covers, including a Black Adam tribute cover. Of course. And that's what's available this week. The big one is this one, The Death of Superman number 1. It's a one-shot, so there is only one issue. But this is a big one. It's a hefty book, and Michael's review will take you as long to read as the book will. And which is rightly so, because it's well worth a read. And this is available in a number of variant covers, including Doomsday, of course, Funeral for a Friend. Jonathan, of course, finds out about the fact that his father died, which he didn't know. And there's Doombreaker, Doomsday there, sketch cover, and more. So that's what's available this week from that one. There's also Multiversity Teen Justice, the 6th and final issue, which you reviewed, didn't you, Mark?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and that's available in a Supergirl variant cover, and that one as well. Then there's another big one, Superman Son of Kal-El number 17. We're getting to the end of this comics run as well, as it will transition to Adventures of Superman John Kent. and that's available in a couple of different variant covers, a 90s flashback one there as well. And then there's, I think it does come out this week, Michael, the 30th anniversary special edition of Superman number 75. We did not get any advanced reviews, copies for this one, but I believe the book will be released tomorrow. This is November 8th. And also the hardcover of Absolute Dark Knight is out this week, as is Justice League United Order Volume 2 trade paper, hardcover. Also, you might want to check out Wonder Woman number 793, which has a Superman is involved in the story, if you're a completist.
I want to be a fly on the wall of the people that aren't familiar, that weren't around for the death of Superman, that are like teenagers or in their early 20s now, that look at that Ivan Reis variant cover and just are like, who in the hell are these people? I mean, it's just like and I'm wondering also if they had the question that I had back in 1992 is, what is Darkseid doing here? In all honesty, this doesn't seem like his jam. So, but no, it's a great book. Everyone really needs to read it.
Mark, anything you wanted to weigh in on there?
Well, yeah, I have read it, and it is great. It's just, I don't want to say much about it. It comes out tomorrow, but no, it's the couple. There's the main story, and then there's some of the other stories, and I think they're just done so well. I mean, you've got the original creators. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I know Tom Grummett wasn't doing the art at the time until after, with the reign of the Superman. But
no, he was on the book.
No, but during the death of Superman, wasn't it Jerry Ordway?
Yeah.
Wasn't Jerry Ordway?
No, Tom Grummett
No?
took over in 91.
Did he? Jesus.
Yeah, 1991.
That's so long. I can't even. And I love Tom Grummett. I can't even fathom that. I'm sorry.
It was Carl Kessel who. I think you're mixing Tom with Carl.
Okay.
Carl Kessel didn't come on till the reign of the Superman.
He came out to write, and Grummett was okay.
There you go.
Sorry. Now look, I have to hand in my Superman card now.
No.
And I
it was 30 years ago, man. Come on.
I know. And I reread it not that long ago either.
Oh, there you go.
But whatever. My head is a lot of stuff going on, I guess.
Yeah, but it's well worth reading, folks. So it comes out tomorrow, Tuesday, November 8th. Check it out, and then Michael's review will be up on the website, as will the reviews of all those new comic books. All the reviews have been handed in and will be published on Tuesday on supermanhomepage.com. All right, an interesting story that came out this week that was, it's neither here nor there if you're not into video games, but a game developer based in Melbourne, Australia, released an impressive free demo on itch.io, showing off what an open-world Superman video game would look like. This was back a couple of months ago, earlier this year, and his video of his video game went viral, 3.7 million views. And now he's claiming that a different video game studio has stolen his demo and he's selling it, where he'd given it away for free. So interesting development there. And yeah, I don't know what to think of it, but here was the demo if you want to have a look. That's just a bit of the video of what he, envisaged that his Superman video game would look like if he was ever able to make one. Obviously, he's doctored the costume, so it's not exactly Superman, but we get the gist.
The
Don't
gloves
play
are a
video
dead giveaway.
games. Never played video games. I just really in my life never played video games, and it just. But that that it's a nice piece. I mean not to see that he, was trying to do something.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So anyway, very interesting kind of behind the scenes story there.
Yeah.
This is an interesting statue that was promoted this week. Entertainment Earth are now taking pre-orders for their Superman Prince of Krypton 15-inch statue. Oh, turn off that. There it is there. Very Roman-esque, a Greek sculpture, dramatic pose, classical kind of pose with a sword, but Superman, it's like white and gold. It's Kryptonian.
That's not part of Dark Knights of Steel, is it?
No, it's just a totally new idea, new concept.
Oh, it's got the helmet.
So there you have it.
It really should be Russell Crowe's face.
Yeah, not wrong there. But this will be shipping in June 2023. It's $164.99 US. You can pre-order it through our website if that interests you. But the Prince of Krypton, limited to 2,500 pieces. A great gift for any Superman fan. You're a really good friend if you're buying someone a $165 present.
Well.
Yeah. Well, if anybody wins the Powerball tonight here in the United States,
that's true. Yeah.
I'll take it. I do not turn down unless the word soiled or rancid is involved. I always accept free.
Very good. All right, well, that's pretty much all we've got time for. Mark, thank you for joining us tonight. Great to talk to you again.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye.
And that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Superman Homepage Live. Apologies again for the beginning of the episode with the audio issue that we had, but thanks for sticking with us. Thank you to all those in the live with us tonight. Geiger, Mind the Gap, Piper, Mark, Dr. Casey, John, Mind the Gap, and so many others. Thank you for joining us live tonight and spending this last hour with us. And thank you to you, my co-host, Michael Bailey. Thank you, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And don't forget, Michael and I will be back next week on Monday, November 14th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for another edition of Superman Homepage Live. We'll hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. Thank you to our sponsors, Douglas Mitchum, John Patrick Van Pelt and Tina Murray. I'm Steve Eunice. Check out supermanhomepage.com. See you next week, folks. Bye.